Hello, everybody. Here we are at South Summit, and with us it's Roger Berdayes, who is founder of TestrBox.
Yes.
Tell us about TestrBox. What is it about?
Okay, great. TestrBox is intended to be a centerpiece of the hardware ecosystem here in Spain. We're trying to develop sort of a mix between a hackerspace and an incubator and some slight paintings of an accelerator from the hardware development point of view. And that sort of is a space, is a physical place where you can actually build prototypes, when you can actually test your prototypes with real customers and have this precious and valuable, insightful information as a feedback from your early adopters. And then we can help you to develop that prototype a little bit more or a little further, and we are going to help you all the way through the end of the process of incubation and acceleration, which is the mass scale production.
Why did you decide to focus on hardware?
Look around you, man. It's like I've been saying this for a while, but you don't see pieces of software walking around, and you are not sitting in a piece of software. And software is important, and we have developed this sort of new techniques to develop businesses around software, which are great. I mean, from the investor point of view, those are great tools like Lean Startup, that like all the mindset around focusing on your customer and building on top of a business model that you have written down. That is great. But with hardware, it's a bit more complex. Not more complicated, well, it's complicated as well, but it's a bit more complex because you have to have a lot of stakeholders involved. So all that innovation from the startup point of view, from the developing process, we think we can actually have that sort of innovation inside the hardware development process, which is it's hard to believe, but we are developing hardware products the same way we've been doing for the last maybe 200 years. And right now we are living, someone called it that way, I don't like that, but this is the third industrial revolution, where you can actually build a prototype inside your garage or inside of a space like TestrBox. There's no true anymore in that hardware is so complex and so complicated that you have to have a lot of money to build a prototype, a working prototype, to test your market fit. That's no longer true. So we are basing our project in that, and we hope that with time we are going to reduce the fragmentation of the market here in Spain, and of course all over Europe, to try to redesign that hardware development process and try to build something better and for the next century. Right now we are really good developing software, but not so good developing hardware. But like I said before, look around you. We have hardware everywhere. The same chair from, I don't know, Middle Ages. So why not to improve that design? Why not to improve the process? Why not to improve the product itself in an inexpensive way? That's the challenge. You can, of course, you can throw a lot of money into a product development process, into a big company like, I don't know, Apple, Microsoft, or whatever sort of company that, well, Microsoft is not exactly an example, but I don't know, Samsung. And you can actually come up with a really cool product at the end. But that process is no longer true for small startups, for small SMEs and that sort of businesses. So we are on the very edge of this technological revolution, and we can actually manage right now to build prototypes in the city center that are working prototypes that can actually solve problems, and you don't need to spend like $1 million to actually develop those prototypes. in these conditions. So here in Spain, we are far behind. In the UK, there are tons of these spaces, and of course in France, Germany, and US, of course. And here in Spain, we are starting. We are launching the first sort of spaces that are devoted to actually help entrepreneurs from the hardware point of view.
What kind of entrepreneurs are you looking for your space?
I mean,
Which characteristic are you looking for? Or
I don't know if
which
I'm,
stage or?
Okay, great. That's a better question. First of all, I like to say that I'm an electronic engineer myself, and I did not study engineering for being behind an Excel sheet. I become an engineer because I want to change the world, because I want to really do something for making the people's lives better, and I guess that's something that is in the minds of millions of engineers around the world, and we are looking for that people that are passionate about designing, about breaking through, about disruption, about doing things in a different way. And when I say things, I say things. And we are mainly focusing on early stage startups right now, but we are going to open that in the future for more developed startups. But we are looking to these sort of startups because we believe that here in Spain, we have a lot of ideas, we have a lot of talented people that are just fooling around with technology. And we have to focus. We have to make them focused, and we have to, we have to help them to actually build on top of their technology or their technological knowledge, building on top of that the layers of the business mindset, and that's the challenge.
How do you plan to help them to focus?
Okay, that's a good question. We are developing a sort of a tailor-made hardware development program. We call it that way. That is, like I said, tailor-made for the needs of startups that has a focus on hardware and that want to have the end customer feedback as fast as we can. So we are going to help them go through this process from the very beginning, and that's the second reason we are looking for these very early stage startups or entrepreneurs that want to actually develop something around the hardware idea they have. So our main purpose is to help them go through that process. Of course, they have to let us help them. Is how it works. And hopefully we are going to develop not just a relationship, but also the best partnerships we can build for their businesses using this process. It's not rocket science, it's something that has been sitting around for a long time, and we are just adding some pepper on top of it. We are putting some lean startup methodologies, we are using some sort of funneling methodologies to try to focus down in what really matters and to try to build on top of that technological knowledge all the business things you have to think when you are building a startup.
Finally, what is the business model of TestrBox?
Well, I have to say that is not a simple question because a business model is not as simple as you might think. But I would say that at first we are going to rely on a particular type of customer, which is going to be the user of the space, which are entrepreneurs. So we are going to charge a fair amount of money for them to use the space, to be part of the community. We are going to develop inside and outside the space and to use all the services we can provide inside the space. I have to talk a little deeper about that, but just to give you a highlight, you can use all the equipment like all the electronic electronic machinery you need to develop a prototype, all the 3D printers, 3D scanners, and that sort of tools, you can use that. If you pay that for amount, you are going to use them for developing your prototype. And also, and this is the value added of the space, and this is the main difference of doing your prototype in your garage or in TestrBox is, okay, we are going to help you go through the process, and we are going to push you to actually find the right market fit for your product. So we are going to sort of mentor you in that sense. Of course, we are going to find the best partners, the best possible partners in your area, in your sector to mentor you, and we are going to push you through. And at the end of the program, you are going to have a product that you can actually say, okay, this is tested, let's go big, let's scale this thing up. And that's the first sort of stage of the business model, I would say. So I talked about where my income is going to come, where are going to be the main stakeholders, the providers, and that sort of things. In a second stage, we are right now is what we think. That might change in the future, but we think that we can provide to a private investment sector of a different deal flow that they have. So right now, most of VCs and angel investors, they have a lot of startups working in software, or mainly in software, but just a few working in hardware. So we are going to go fish these hardware startups and put them into the deal flow of private investors, but that's the second stage. So right now we are focusing on our main customer, main user, which are mainly hardware entrepreneurs, hardware startups, hardware enthusiasts, makers, hackers, all that sort of people that are out there. I know they are out there, and we are looking for them. That's the main thing the main things that I can say right now about the business model.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Roger, and I hope
No, thank you.
TestrBox really
Yeah,
will help.
I just wanted to say something else. For those of you that are looking out there, just go to TestrBox, testerbox.com, and sign in. We have a landing page right now. We are kind of testing the sort of equipment we are going to have in the space. So if you are a hardware entrepreneur, if you are a hardware enthusiast, just please go there. Remember TestrBox.com. I know it's complicated. We are going to change the name. Thank you very much.
Okay, help you.